All right, Nick. To the top of the ninth we go.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Live from Petco Park.
All right, where are we at in the lineup, Trace?
Don't worry about that. You don't want to know.
Is Newman due up here?
Yeah.
Newman due up?
He is.
Let's go.
And I believe, based off my math, I think Matt Reynolds might be due up too.
No. I think Reynolds is.
They would have doubles. They're like not double switch, but they might have. They might have
they'd
have put him in.
He's due up third. God Almighty.
I was thinking that.
It would be Casale though, so it's not like you necessarily.
No, I mean, listen, I watched this lineup all night long. I don't think anybody's. I don't think there's too many guys in this lineup where you're like, oh no, can't believe we're not getting him on that bat.
Well, it is Hater. Well, Newman and Reynolds, they hit lefties decent. We'll give them that. I don't know if they hit Hater decent, but get down.
Come on. Nope.
Pretty good swing. Pretty good swing for old Henry off of a Hater.
Yeah, I agree. What's up with all the stashes, man? Is that like the new cool thing to do in the big leagues?
I guess so.
Looks like a fireman lodge. Got some NBA basketball going on over here. I got screens everywhere right now.
I got a bet on this game. I don't even know what I bet. It's a problem.
It sounds like a degenerate situation you got going on there. Should look into that.
I did.
1-800-GAMBLER is actually the number if you need it.
I put a little bet on the Reds and Dodgers also. Mm-hmm. So we're looking pretty good. We got a little parlay. Graham Ashcraft, 3 strikeouts hit. Reds plus 3.5, and Dodgers plus 2.5. Dodgers up 3. So
that's looking good.
Don't give up a grand slam in the.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be hard for you to lose this bet on the Reds.
Literally would have to give up a grand slam to lose it.
Yep, you're in pretty good shape. Never say never.
Shout out Betfred Sportsbook.
That's right.
Come on, Kev. Yeah, fighting. Trace, does this kind of feel like the see enough pitches so he doesn't come back out in the 10th inning?
Yeah, I don't think he'll come out. Yeah, that's part of the goal. I don't think he'll come out in the 10th regardless, though. If they're not going to bring him out in the 8th to face Fraley in that spot, I mean, largely because I don't think he was up. So that's the reason as to why they didn't bring him in. Was he up and ready to go? That's what I'm saying.
He will not use him out of a straight 9th inning.
Oh, come on, get lucky. Oh. Golly day, man. He hit it well. You got to give Newman props today. He's looked relatively well. Reese, I don't know if I'm assuming you're being serious, right?
I mean, there's always a shot. I guess if something really goes crazy, I mean, I wouldn't expect
much love to you, Reese, but I don't think so.
Hey, don't let us stop you though. If you believe it, man, hey,
that's true.
Me, we can use all the positivity out here. I'm not gonna crap on anyone.
That's a good point, Reese. If you think that's the case, just drop a line in there as to why you think so, and maybe you can start to convince us. Otherwise, I'm happy to be convinced.
Make me believe, man. I want to believe.
Man,
come on, couple more pitches. Couple more pitches. Let's just. I don't think Bell's gonna bring out the Diaz though, because he had Law warming too.
You think Reynolds can run into one here? Just get lucky.
Yeah,
really,
that would be a moment.
Really lucky.
Yeah. Just missed it.
Yeah. He's dead serious. I got an odd bit of optimism of us getting a wild card. I don't know, just one of those weird teams that just get hot at the right time.
Keith, man, I appreciate you watching, but don't we have a half decent bullpen? Like that's not holding us back.
Yeah, Keith, that's the best thing we have on this team. I hate to say that.
I mean, like top 5 in ERA right now, I think, in baseball.
Listen, they've been
that was with a bad week.
They've been. That's all right. They've been the Reds bullpen's been the best attribute of this baseball team consistently all year long, outside of like a 4 or 5 day window. Sims, Diaz, Alex Young. Look out for Alex Young, Keith. He's doing pretty well.
Where we at?
Legumina. How do I say that kid's name?
You got it. It's Legumina. You got it. You're nailing it.
Anyway, Legumina I think is pretty damn good.
All right, we got Carpenter, Cronenworth, and Kim due up third.
Yeah.
Kim, Babe Ruth against the Reds.
I mean, I don't know what your commercials are, but on the MLB TV app, it's the Season of Dreams sweepstakes. Are you getting that same thing too, or no?
I have the straight Cincinnati feed, even though I'm in Cleveland because I got DirecTV. So I should be watching the same.
I have some good news. They just installed fiber in my neighborhood. Shout out Cincinnati Bell, Ultra Fiber. I think I'm just gonna get it. I think I'm just gonna get the Ultra Fiber. I'm gonna pay. I think it's an extra $25 a month off. I'm already paying like $55 a month for internet now. I think it's like $80 a month to get their cable package. This sounds like disgusting. I don't think I'm gonna cancel my YouTube TV because I like it too much. But if I just have to pay 30 extra bucks a month to watch Reds baseball, I think that's what I'm just gonna have to do. I'm just so tired of dealing with like the VPN and
it's a grind.
It's a little bit of a grind. I'm not gonna lie. Like it can become frustrating. It took me like 10 minutes to get to. It took me like 10 to 15 minutes today to get the stream up on my TVs.
I'll tell you what though, Trace. The other night I was
that little Italy clip right now looks terrible. Valley, they need to do a better job than that.
But I was watching the game the other night.
Gross. Go ahead.
Watching the game the other night. I went up to make dinner, do something with the kids, and I put the game on my phone, and the phone was ahead of DirecTV. So maybe that whole adage of like, oh, you're behind. I don't really know if it's all that true. There's been a lot of times lately where it's been really close.
Yeah. People in the chat are pro fiber. I am pro fiber as well. I've had fiber at my old house. Did not have it at this new place. They finally got it installed. They tore. It's funny that Alex says they're tearing up his brand new grass he planted. They tore my yard to shreds out in kind of like the sidewalk to street area, and they didn't do a very good job of putting it back. But I'm really not a huge not that I say that people that are huge grass people are bad people. I'm not saying that, but I'm not really one of those people that let my grass really get me in a fizzy.
Did Carpenter get hurt?
Golden State's making a comeback though.
Why are they pinch hitting Odor?
Because he's hitting 100. Man, I'm not sure. We need to throw strikes. Like that would be cool.
Yeah, this is not the guy you want to walk. He's hard to walk too. You have to really try.
Yeah, clearly because he just swung at a ball. I mean, it was 2-0. You'd think at a guy's hitting 100, you would. I'm not saying tank till you get a strike, but definitely not be swinging at a breaking ball that's like 6 inches inside like he just did. If I was a Padres fan, I'd be absolutely pissed.
There you go. Guy. There you go.
Yep, Newman, call it. He's got it, and he
just a pro catch.
One out. Got one out. Which way does that go? Yep, right there.
I thought we weren't allowed to count outs, Trace.
Well, we got to let everyone know how many outs there are. We're not saying we only got so many outs left. That's what we're not doing.
Okay.
I know this is like really complicated, but we're allowed to let the people know how many outs we got. We're just not going to say, hey, we're only 7 outs from winning the World Series. That's just bad mojo. You don't do that.
Okay.
Just go ask the Cubs when they were probably counting outs with old Bartman.
Let's go.
Let's go. That's got to be caught by Friedel. First of all, Friedel's in left. Yeah. By the way, I'm not overly like all upset about it. Like moving Friedel to left and putting Senzel in center. Maybe Senzel's a better outfielder, but I don't know, man. Friedel looks pretty good in center.
Oh God, anybody but this guy. Anybody but this guy.
Yeah. He hit one out yesterday. What scraped the fence.
Four career home runs against the Reds. Most against any team.
Yeah.
And he has teams that he plays 18 times a year.
Yeah. I say we just hit him. Look at that ball. Like literally just scraped the top of the fence. Nice pitch.
Give him that. Give him that.
Yeah. You know, you got a big brick back there catching. I don't think that was Stevenson's fault, though. That was just that. To be fair, Nick, that was like the very edge of the zone.
I did not love that pitch.
Those are the pitches I'm talking about at the end of the game. They're like, oh, he made one mistake. I don't know. What are we zooming in on here, Bally? Oh, the pitch count's on his glove. I was like, what are we doing? Got a little confusing for a minute. I like pitchers being able to call their own pitches. I actually think that's one of the best things that PitchCom allows. God damn, just throw strikes, you know? Like, that's my only thing.
Yeah, I don't like putting the winning run on base. I mean,
where are we at?
Definitely Austin Nola, their catcher, hitting a $152. They bunted with him. Sack bunted. This vaunted lineup sack bunted with him the last time. So that's what they think.
I got to keep an eye on this pitch clock. I don't know where we're at here with Bally, but we're down to 4 seconds. Okay.
Whew.
This pitch. That's a good
96.
Pitch. Yeah, he's feeling it. Hoosier. Oh man, Diaz is coming in the 10th.
Probably either way.
No matter what, right? No matter what, he's got to come out.
Yeah, it's like that same situation as Oakland almost all over again. But the bottom of the order in the 9th, you have to get through. It's like literally deja vu. And Derek Lowell's on the mound. Literally the carbon copy of Sunday.
Yeah. I need that fastball he just threw up in the zone. Now,
that was a good pitch.
Spit on this 87 mile an hour. Throw him the heater, Ricky. Throw that 97 mile an hour, whatever it was, 94, 95 mile an hour fastball up in the zone. Make him go get it. Up, up, up. Here it is. He's throwing 97. Just keep doing that. This is hard. We're playing hardball, Nick. That's what I'd be doing. You know what he ought to do? He ought to just take that pitch com off his glove right now, toss it on the ground, and just give him the old, we're throwing the heater. I'm letting you know. It's coming. See what you can do with it, Nola. Fastball. Don't be doing that breaking ball. Dude, it's so predictable. I mean, it's like literally like a 12-year-old calling the game. Well, now he's going to go back to the breaking ball again outside. He's going to try to double up on it. He thinks that that's the pitch that's going to get this guy out, and he keeps throwing it a foot outside.
Fastball open, and he can't.
He's not. No, he's going to double up on it. He's going to go breaking ball again.
You call it.
Nope.
Froze him.
This shit's too easy. Him. I'm glad it worked out, but if he didn't throw that for a strike, I was about to be pissed.
All right. Free baseball. Hey, this is only 12-10.
Beautiful.
All right.
Well, just in case you don't know, there's the Season of Dreams sweepstakes by Mattress Firm. And you can enter now, and the prize includes an opportunity to go watch the St. Louis Cardinals and the Cubs play in the London series. Aaron Hotel, two times game tickets. So I'm assuming why didn't they just put 2 game tickets? That would have been That seemed to make more sense. You can watch batting practice on the field, and you can take batting practice on the field.
Huge.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Behind the scenes locker room tour. Tell you what, you let me go over there. St. Louis might need somebody to play for him. I'm joking. Maybe somebody else. Wouldn't that be like wouldn't that be like a funny joke? Is if like you somehow could disguise like one of the top prospects, either a high school kid and or a college player, and like they're like, oh, they won the chance to hit batting practice on the field, and they're just hitting bombs all over the place, and it's like, who's this kid? That'd be fun. We should get more content like that, by the way. I don't know why we don't get more undercover content in the YouTube world. They did it like a couple times with certain things. I remember when they did it with like Jeff Gordon did something with like a car lot one time. Dale Earnhardt Jr. I think did something. You got Kyrie Irving in the Pepsi commercial, and then what was the last one? It was like Greg Maddux was throwing batting practice, and there was Kirby. That's not Kirby.
I'm lost.
What was the guy that played for the Cubs? Now he plays Chris Bryant. Chris Bryant did something like he went to JUCO, acted like he was a transfer or something.
I don't know if I've ever seen that. Yeah. Brandon Seo, gracing our chat.
I know. He's up late, baby. What is he saying? Reds at Padres, 2021 comeback with Stevenson in India.
Yeah. I tell you what, that was one of my favorite Reds moments in a long time. One of my favorite ever, really. And they lost the game, but it was just a cool moment with two rookies stepping up.
All right, we got a ghost runner out there at second, as in like man for man. I'll tell you what, that's kind of a dumb move right there by Garcia, right?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, he's down to 2 pickoffs now, you know.
Yeah. Bluff. See if you can't get him to accidentally step off again. Oh, no.
Let's go! Let's go!
I can't believe that got through. Dude, by the way, that's a big-time hit. I'm glad. I'm excited. Don't let me act like I'm not excited. I'm excited. But who just threw that ball in from the outfield? Was that Soto?
Soto that's Gold Glover Juan Soto, who won it over Aristides Aquino, and he's awful.
He just threw that ball at 2-hop to second
noodle
base
arm
from about
noodle arm
50 feet. Let's hit him another one. Oh, that ball's ripped. Oh, tell you what, that ball was tagged.
Let's go.
Who was that doing the dance moves right there? Chat, I need your help on that one.
That's 3-hit day for TJ Friedel. How about that?
That ball was absolutely ripped. That ball's hit. I don't know. 106 off the bat.
Bunt?
I don't hate it. I really don't hate it.
I don't know.
I know that's not what you're supposed to do, but who's coming up after him is the real question, because Fairchild's out of the game. Is Fraley?
No, it's Stevenson.
Yes. Get there, Steer.
Run it out.
Get there.
Oh, man.
Bunt. Would have been cool now.
That's tough.
That's so bad. I thought Spencer ran a little bit better than that, if we're being honest.
All right, Tyler, pick him up.
Yeah, we need a big pick-me-up. I don't think that's the last place I'd be throwing Stevenson right now is inside, because it just seems like he's trying to pull a baseball or yank a ball. I'd stay outside. Even though Stevens is a hell of a hitter going the other way, it just seems like he's not doing that right now.
That was a good pitch.
Yeah, that was luck.
tough pitch is the better.
What the Machado's funny, man.
He makes everything look so much harder than it is.
I don't even know if it looks harder. It looked like that. He looked like he was out there playing in the backyard to me. Shit, he just nonchalantly flipped that thing over there.
All right, Alexis. Finish him off.
Yeah.
Trent Grisham. I wonder if Grisham's going to try to bunt.
I think I'd bunt. If I were them, I would bunt. Here's why. Because I think I'm just playing to get that one run to get me to the next inning, and I think that I have a really good chance of winning. Just saying.
Yeah, but you got Tatis and Machado. I mean, that's still 2 cracks at a base hit, you know?
Yeah, good luck.
I see both sides. Grisham runs really well, so you may, also, Reds might throw it away, and, well, there's your game. Interesting.
We needed to get more than 1 run right there.
Yeah. Well,
David brings up a great point. I've always wondered why they call it a ghost runner. It's because for whatever reason, that's some dumb term that was used at the beginning. But we asked that question on an opening day, what it should be called. I think people call it the extra runner. But then we heard Bobby Nightingale say it's the Manfred Man. That's kind of stuck with me, so I'm just going to keep calling it the Manfred Man. Yeah. Free runner, yeah, that's a good one.
All right, boys. We're staring down Luis Cessa tomorrow.
Yeah. Thanks for the reminder, Bally.
It's not a bad matchup for the Reds, though. Lugo's been struggling. He's not really he's just kind of a filler guy for them.
Define struggling. He's got like a
the last 2 starts he's got hit pretty hard. Yeah, he had 2 really good starts to start the year. He's literally a better Cessa. Just he's a reliever that they're making be a starter for a while to get them through. All right.
Evan. Yeah, Evan, that wasn't your best, but you know what? You can always bounce back. Got another opportunity. You can always type something in there and hit enter again. You know what I'm saying, Evan? It wasn't horrible, Evan. It was a decent attempt.
Evan, that is not your worst effort. I've seen worse, buddy.
Oh no. Shots fired.
No, I love Evan.
If the Padres wanted to do some real winning, they'd try to steal third right here.
That'd be bold.
That would be doing something, especially with the lefty
Who's running. Sullivan, that's their backup catcher.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Look, he could fake bunt, draw him in, steal third. Little League style. Tell you what, Diaz needs a decent outing right here.
He's been great in these straight closer situations. I mean, this is a little different, ghost runner, but
the hell, what was that?
I think Grisham called time.
Look at the Lakers over here. They got a 12-point lead with 5:40 left.
Game to play.
I'm rooting for the Lakers. I'm about sick and tired of Golden State. I know there's obviously LeBron haters. All right,
NBA needed this series, though, didn't they?
Yeah, they needed. I mean, they don't need the series, but they definitely are happy about it. I can tell you that. That's an out. That's the out we needed, right? That's not in here. Are you kidding me? What ballpark is this?
We're not in Oakland anymore.
That looked like it went straight up, man. That hurts.
They got a cram so they can get all those fans in there. They pack out every night in San Diego.
Yeah. They cleared 3 million last year. The Reds have never cleared 3 million in the history of their organization, their franchise.
I mean, the Reds won 97 games in 2012, signed Votto to a $220 million contract, Phillips to a $75 million contract, and they had 15 and 20,000 on weekdays.
Yeah, no. Listen, the people that I want to act like, oh, if they do something, they're going to get 40-something thousand at Great American. That's a lie. It's just not
on the
true.
weekends. Yeah, but they're not
weekends on the weekends. There's a chance. I'm okay. I'm not saying I love that, but it's not. That's not the worst thing, Nick. It's not, man. Oh, Tatis, are we scared of him? He's gonna roll into this double play right here.
Triple play.
I'm not. Now that's taking it too far. Golly, I need to sit up, and I feel like I'm sitting at the bottom of the screen.
Anyone but Tatis. Oh, man.
Tatis is a fun player, man. I don't hate him. I know he got in trouble, but
I don't mind him. I don't mind his personality. I just I don't know why we're celebrating what he did. Cheated.
No one's celebrating what he did. I think they're just still a fan of the player.
I think he should have taken a little longer. Gave in too easy. All right, 0-2.
None of these pop-ups. That one was well out of play, but I don't know. I don't feel good about throwing that slider 3 times in a row. But I also am a little worried if he doesn't place that fastball on the edge or out of the zone, it's not going to be a good scene either. Right down the middle, dude.
Woo!
Not where we wanted that, but you know what? It worked. Oh, it was actually elevated a little bit, Nick. Like, if it was down the middle, it would have been bad. But it was actually elevated just enough.
0-2, though.
It wasn't good. I didn't say it was good. I just said it would. That's why it didn't get smashed. It was elevated just barely enough. Machado he's a double play machine. You know, that's what they call him. Manny 2 bags, Machado. Shit. Well, can't walk him. I can't wait to see where this outfield is. They're probably standing on the warning track, and their backs are damn near stuck in the fence, and they're probably playing the lines. He's going to hit a normal fly ball, and it's going to drop, and I'm going to lose my
that was a good
ever-loving mind. That's a great pitch, yeah. Evan said I need to be careful with these nicknames. Trying to say that the Machado's nickname isn't ideal.
There you go.
Pitch. Great pitch. Throw that pitch one more time, but just a little closer to the zone, so it's a strike 3 regardless. Need it, Nick. Need it. Just what we wanted, a disengagement. That Kroger patch, boy, it's soaring. It's looking good. Fuck. Get lucky. Get lucky. Ooh, boy. Ooh, boy.
Just Juan Soto. Just the $24 million arbitration man. No big deal.
Yeah, I mean, this ain't an easy out.
There you go. Good pitch.
I'll tell you what would make me absolutely laugh out loud, or I would love it, is if Diaz struck him out and gave him the old shuffle. Just shuffles in from the mound.
Oh, I want to see these guys be as cocky as they can be. Start a fight. Let's go. He went.
I don't did, but it would have been nice if that ball was a little closer to the zone. It was close. Yes. Check. No? I'm not going to check. All right. I don't think he went, but I'm checking. I'm asking no matter what. Yep. There's no doubt that this is nut cutting time. I mean, there's no doubt about it. This is
if there ever was a time.
If there ever was a time, this is the nut cutting time. Look at that pitch, dude. He gave him the old, yeah, that was a good pitch. Yeah, it was. It was, wasn't it? Come on, Alexis. Come on. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's so late in my house I can't get loud. Nut cutting season. Back door. Wow. You know what time it is, chat? You know what time it is?
Hit final. Boom. I got to get rid of the base runners, though. There we go. Now we're ready to roll.
Nick, I don't know if you know, but the Reds won a baseball game tonight / this morning out here on the East Coast. And you know what? It feels good. I don't know how good this team is, but it feels good. This is fun. Competing is fun. Nick, Reds win 2-1. Go. Your thoughts.
Well, I read a text from the wife. She's somehow up watching. She's not usually up this late. She said, "Nothing pumps me up more than two dads afraid to make noise and wake up their kids with some fist bumps."
Hey.
Let's go.
Yeah.
All right, I'll try to recap this. A lot happened. Graham Ashcraft, let's start there. How about the performance from Graham tonight? He was just incredible. 6 innings pitched, 6 hits, 1 run. 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, lowered a season ERA to 2. Graham Ashcraft has gone 39 innings without allowing a home run. That's just remarkable. Reds missed chance after chance after chance. They had a great chance in the first inning. Second, third, no one out. Couldn't get anything done. But the Reds pitching, they hung with it all night. Lucas Sims was electric when he came in. Striking out Tatis to end a jam in the 7th inning. Ian Jabot, Derek Law, Alexis Diaz all did it. And then the Reds, they came back. Big hit from TJ Friedel, stole second base. Tyler Stevenson came in, nice pinch hit walk in the 8th, laid off some really tough pitches. And then Jake Fraley does what Jake Fraley does, drove in the tying run. And then the Reds in the top of the 10th, Jonathan India put the team ahead with a big another clutch hit. Reds win 2-1. How about that, Trace?
Yeah, big time win. One in which I didn't expect. I knew that I felt like this game, it just felt like if the Padres scored maybe one or two more quote-unquote insurance runs when we were down 1-0, it seemed like that was going to be good night, Irene. Instead, they let us hang around. I think I put a tweet out like an hour ago that just said that, if I was a Padres fan, I would be fearing the fact that you're just letting this team hang around and hang around and hang around, and you're just giving them the opportunity to steal this thing late. That's just what we did. Graham Ashcraft, though, the brightest spot that I think we've had almost all year long in regards to any of these guys, continues to throw the ball well. More importantly, and I'm not just saying this because I keep, wanting to pat myself on the back. More importantly, though, he's a competitor, man, and I think that's what I value the most in him. And it doesn't mean that it takes away anything away from his stuff. He throws 97-mile-an-hour cutters. He has incredible command, gets a lot of ground balls, gets deep into games. I've said this from time to time again. You can complain about the fact that he might not strike out as many guys as the other two, but I also think that's a benefit to him. It allows him to get deeper into games. It allows him to keep his pitch count low. He obviously mouthed to David Bell when David Bell came out to get him and replaced him for Lucas Sims that he said, I got this guy. And David Bell didn't listen like no manager ever does. And besides the Red Sox with Pedro Martinez way back in the day. But outside of that, I give Sims some credit. He came in, he shoved. Sims looked incredibly good. This team looked great tonight outside the lineup. And I do think that there's maybe the chance to get some reinforcements, Nick, in the lineup. I do hope that that's the case. I think it'd be great for our city. And I know that's not the only reason that you do it, but these guys keep hitting the ball well, man. I mean, they just do. Every night they got like 2 hits. We're not going to get into them quite yet, but everyone knows who I'm talking about. But to stay on Graham Ashcraft, he did it against a good lineup, and you brought up the point that he hasn't given up many home runs. Well, I think that just goes to the case in point that he's a good ground ball pitcher. And not only that, but he's just got really good stuff. It's not like he's not doing it on what I would say like a fluke run. He looks the part, man.
Only walked one guy tonight. I mean, that's a lineup that you look up and down and you go, oh man, can't make a mistake to that guy. Oh, can't make a mistake to that guy either. That is as talented of a lineup as he'll see all year, and he no fear. There's just no fear in this guy. He wants the ball. Man, I cannot believe how far he's come so fast. Wasn't on the opening day roster last year. Started the year in AAA. I mean, he pitches like he's been doing this for 5, 6, 7 years, right? Like this guy doesn't look like a guy that just came up last May. Was that his debut last year? He's fun to watch and he wants it. And yeah, I saw some people extend Graham Ashcraft. Hey man, you don't have to sell me. I'm in on it. I want this guy to be a Cincinnati Red as much as anyone right now.
I think they'll do. I think they will. I really do. I think they'll get that done. Whether or not you can get all 3 done with Lodolo as well, I don't know. That's to be determined. But as you've said before with Lodolo, and it's not just because he's had 2 relatively poor outings in a row. I'm not saying that just because of that. I think Lodolo could be, if you told me Lodolo was going to be the best of the 3, I'm not going to be like, oh, wow, that's I can't believe it. But he does have a little bit of age behind him. I think Lodolo is one of those guys where if you just said, okay, we're going to pay him arbitration, we're going to let him run all the way to the end of the contract, and then from there maybe we'll consider trying to get him a 1-year deal or 2-year deal. But by the time he's done and he's outside of Reds' control, he's getting to an age, I guess, Nick, where you're not really overly concerned that you're going to lose out on too many more good, quote unquote, good years, usually from a starting pitcher. Doesn't mean we don't want to extend him. Doesn't mean I don't think Lodolo is worth talking about an extension for, but I think it's fair to bring that up. One other thing I wanted to bring up really quickly before we don't have it in our rundown is just, again, the bullpen. I'm not going to let that go unnoticed. Even though Graham Ashcraft got us deep into the game, it was the bullpen's responsibility, obviously, to get us the rest of the way home. I mean, we only scored 2 runs. It's not like there was a whole lot of margin for error here. And so shout out to them. I continue to say. I think that's maybe the most consistent thing that we've had going for us in the last month is the bullpen. I know they had 1 week where everybody in Cincinnati wanted to act like they were the actual reason that this team wasn't going to be able to be competitive. I think clearly at this point it's offensive efficiency. It's offensive firepower, whatever term you want to use, Nick. That's the main concern, because I think Andrew Abbott comes up. I'm not saying he's going to be a stud, but I think he's going to be serviceable, Nick. Like, I really do. I know that he started at a lower level. They had a plan for him. Well, guess what? Like, there's a detour. Yeah, the detour is we need to bring him up. I'm to the point now where this kid isn't a high schooler. He's pitched at the biggest levels collegiately, and he's relatively making the minor leagues look like, a little bit of a joke right now. And I'm not saying he'll always do that, but I think based off of our situation at the big league level, I'd be curious to hear your thoughts. I don't foresee a reason as to why we wouldn't just try to bring him up now and see if he can't be a little more effective than Sessa. And then, like I said before, maybe Sessa gets an opportunity to go back to the pen and be great again. So your thoughts on that?
Well, there'll probably be an injury that will open up a spot for Abbott. So that's also something you always have to consider. Most years, the Reds don't have the 5 guys they break camp with.
Well, even if they didn't, Nick, you can't just say, oh, we're going to keep him down until an injury happens. And he keeps going out there and shoving it, and you got a guy with a 10 ERA. I guess my question to you would be like, if you're in Kral's shoes, how much longer are you going until you bring him up, or are you ready to go now? And that's kind of what I'm asking. Like, if injuries in a perfect world, and I'm not saying you're wrong, but in a perfect world, if there were no injuries, when do you pull the trigger?
Yeah, if there's no injuries, then yeah, I think a couple more starts, he keeps dominating. You have to call him up, but he's only made 2 starts in AAA. They're also
he made some starts in AA too. He's struck out like 100 people.
To that point, I haven't done enough research on it. Our guy Reds and 4 can fill us in a little bit more. But there was an experimental ball in the Southern League, and so that also I don't even want to. I'm going to butcher what I'm saying on it. Go find Reds and 4's comments on it. Now, granted, he's coming to AAA in the International League and picked up right where he left off. But I think a couple more starts. If there's no injuries, then yeah, find a way to get him up here, assuming he still continues to dominate. But when you start getting into May, it's a numbers game. One of these guys is going to get hurt. It happens every year. Last year, the Reds had like 4 or 5 of their starting pitchers at this point already on the IL. So you don't want to rush Sessa to the bullpen, and then you have another injury, and then you're calling up – who are you calling up after that? And then that's where you really get into the weeds, and that's where, we talk about not competing night after night after night. That's when it can kind of snowball. So I don't blame them for being a little cautious on that.
David in the chat said Ashcraft was the only player that declined to answer if he had been approached about an extension. David, actually, that is true. But then about a week or a week and a half later, we should give credit to whoever eventually got
Bobby.
Bobby.
No,
Bobby.
No. Bob. Big Bob.
Big Bob. Big Bob Nightingale?
Big Bob Nightingale.
Okay, which I don't know. So I'm going to say what I'm saying, like with my hand in the air, saying I'm not, take that for what it's worth. Big Bob Nightingale said this. So Big Bob Nightingale, to be clear here, said that Ashcraft has had talks with the Cincinnati Reds for an extension. So I don't know. It's he said, she said type thing. I don't know who you want to believe, but I'd like to think that they've had some conversations with Ashcraft without question. If they haven't yet, they are now. Put it that way. So anything else to get into from that front? And before we talk about just, I guess, the resiliency of this bunch, a little bit of comeback spirit.
Yeah, just another point on the bullpen. They still came into this game second in baseball and wins above replacement as a collective group. And then tonight, 4 shutout innings, didn't allow a hit, 0 hits. They pieced together a really solid bullpen. With Sims and Diaz have been absolutely dominant in the back end. Diaz, outside of the weird opportunities that have just been kind of tough situations for him, he's been untouchable. And then these other guys like Jabot, like Law, like Alex Young. They've all stepped up and kind of filled their roles, and it's been a lot of fun to watch this bullpen.
Yeah, I can't agree more. Chat's always being funny. Evan coming in with a little more extension talk, as always. Listen, Henry Ramos has been incredible, too. Don't want to forget about him. He's continued to find ways to get on base. He's making it difficult to get him out of the lineup, to be honest. So I don't know what to take that, Dirk Diggler. All right. Comeback Reds. This team, if anything, as poor as they've been at times, I will give them credit in the fact that I do think they compete. I don't think that they're feeling sorry for themselves one iota, and it's been enjoyable to watch, right? Like, I wonder what this team looks like in July and August and September. But at this very moment, the group of guys that they have, I don't know if they're the most talented bunch. Obviously, they're not. And what I mean by that is, like, even some of these guys that aren't quote unquote young, I don't know if they'll be in the big leagues again in 2 years. But I said it tonight. I think Newman played really well today. He doesn't look the prettiest when he plays, but it's not a beauty contest all the time. And I have to give him some credit. Like, I think he made a lot of good plays tonight, and he hit the ball hard. And so good for Kevin Newman. I think we're in a position now where we're gonna have to start asking some really hard questions about Jose Barrero. And we're gonna have to start asking him really soon, because the thing the other night, and I gave myself a little bit of time to think on this. It's like, I don't want to say it's inexcusable, but it's close to inexcusable. You're a guy that's struggling. You're a guy that's trying to prove yourself at the big league level. I'm not saying he doesn't care. I'm not saying what Jose Barrero doesn't care. I'm not saying that at all. But it does seem a little out there for me to think that a guy is not so in tune to the game that you're not paying attention with a situation where you got guys in scoring position and you clearly strike out. In my opinion, he knew he went. He almost was looking at the ground to try to avoid the inevitable, which was, hey, you went. But the thing is like, you got to know that, okay, even if you weren't sure, the ball hit the ground, he never tagged you out. You can't just stare at the ground, especially when the umpire told you were out, and then you don't take off at first. It's just a bad look. So I don't know where to go with Jose. I was trying to be supportive of the guy. I was rooting for him. I'm still not completely out on him, Nick, but he's one of those guys where you said it all along. If he gets sent down to AAA and McLean does come up, if Jose tears it up at AAA, like, what does that do for him? I don't know. I mean, I guess it could get his confidence back, but I don't see it. So we'll see what happens with Barrero. Yeah, I mean, Fred says fair or not, that hype that came with Barrero is why he's targeted by fans. I mean, I think that's going to be the same case for a lot of these guys. And it's part of the territory that you're given, right? Like, whether these guys like it or not, Elly De La Cruz is going to be judged by the masses quickly. If he came up, Nick, if Elly De La Cruz comes up and he starts like he did in AAA this year, he starts 1 for 20, he's going to get crushed on social media. Bob Castellini's going to get crushed on social media. Nick Krall is going to get crushed on social media. Like, it's part of the deal. So, I don't know. I'm ready for McLean personally. I don't know how you feel. I'm kind of ready for these guys. I'm kind of ready for CES, if we're being honest. Of all the guys, as stupid as this sounds, I think I'm more excited for CES because I'd like to see some power. I like to see some raw power roll up into GABP.
Yeah, I think CES feels more of a need right now for the Reds. And the other point about CES is also, right now, Joey Votto is not part of the equation. At some point, he's going to be part of the equation for however long, and that's going to, take potentially, at bats away from CES, or at least reps at first base, all that kind of stuff. So, I think I'm more ready to push him. I think Barrero's the odd man out right now. I don't think you're moving Jonathan India to left field in the middle of the season. Maybe there's a situation where we get closer to the end of the year. You've had enough data on India to say you're not a second baseman of the future. It's past the deadline, so that's not a thought as well. where you just start DHing Jonathan India most of the time, and you could play Barrero, Ellie De La Cruz, McLean, Steer. You could find enough at bats for all of them, and that's assuming health too from all of those guys.
Right.
But on the lineup, the one thing that I'm really excited about is the guys like TJ Friedel that we were kind of like we like, but we're not sure. We saw TJ Friedel had 3 hits tonight. He's got a 795 OPS right now. He looks like a bona fide big leaguer. Spencer Steer, who's 0 for 5 tonight. I know he's struggling right now, but I feel like I've seen enough of him, especially defensively, to feel like, hey, this guy's a big leaguer. It's really the only guys that haven't performed are guys like Barrero that I really wasn't counting on to begin with. It was Kevin Newman. It was Will Myers. It's not pieces that we need for the future at all. We have, Ellie, McLean, and CES to kind of fill that gap and put together, I think, a really competitive lineup 1 through 9. I'm not rushing any of these guys. I still stand by it needs to be the right time for each individual, regardless of what's going on in the field. I'm not backing down on that. But I think McLean and CES, you can make an argument it is the right time for them. I think you're right at that line where they could use a little more seasoning, but it also probably isn't going to hurt them. So I'm fine with whatever they do as long as it's not June and we haven't seen them and they're still tearing it up. But one other point on the lineup, let me wrap this up. Reds only had 1 hard hit ball against Michael Wacha. They were dominated tonight, and it's good to see these guys, these young guys, they're not hanging their hat. Hanging
their head. Yep.
Hanging their hat. And really, still fighting back. And Nick Senzel, the guy that's been on fire, he was 0 for 4 tonight, but the other guys really picked him up and. They didn't let the missed opportunities. There's a lot of them throughout the game, impact them. They just kept fighting, and this was a great win. Reds have lost 9 straight in San Diego, Trace.
Yeah,
and it was not looking like their night at all.
No, and I felt like, and that's where I kept harping back to that damn game, that final game in Oakland. It just felt like, man, it almost felt like we needed that one just to be able to make sure that we went 500 on the West Coast trip, as stupid as that sounds. And fortunately, we got this win tonight. I don't feel like we deserve this win tonight in a way, a little bit of a way. When you win the game, you win the game, so maybe you deserve it no matter what. But it just felt gross. This lineup was overmatched for most of the night, and we'll see what happens. I think if we could get back home and maybe put in a couple of these prospects, I think it'll put another spark back into this fan base. And we're just trying to grind through the season for the most part. I think that's not a fair way of looking at the entire season, but in a way, that's how I look at it. Like, how long can this team keep me genuinely entertained? How long can they keep me genuinely interested? And so far, I feel like a lot of these guys that we had question marks look good. I am starting to get a little bit concerned about Steer, not because I don't think he's a big leaguer. I actually do think I think that he is. It's just that he had so many hard hit balls in a row out there in Oakland that were not hits, that you just felt like the slump was coming, because inevitably he was not going to hit the ball that hard every single time, which he's more likely than not going to lead to more outs. And I think the first base thing is kind of, I don't want to say got in his head completely, but I think it's definitely messed up his mojo. Spencer Steer, like I said before, I think he looks great in the field tonight. That pickoff just goes to show you that sometimes just familiarity at positions matter. He just straight up dropped the ball, allowed a guy to get in scoring position, which didn't come back to bite him, but it could have. All right, let's get into the Reds and the Bally Sports. The Reds got their dough, so nothing looks like it's going to change all too much, Nick. Fortunately and or unfortunately for many. I kind of was hoping that it was going to not go through, not because I didn't want the Reds to get their money, because I just wanted to see what the hell was going to happen. It's almost like I wanted to sit outside on my porch and watch something burn down and just see how it goes.
Yeah, I was disappointed. One quick point on Steer, though. Steer needs to hit a ball out of the ballpark. I think he hit 2 home runs the first week of the season, hasn't hit one since. I think if he could just hit one out, I think that could really maybe boost his confidence. I think he's going to hit that about
a lot of guys on this team.
That's true. But I think this weekend he's going to hit one against the White Sox.
Okay.
He's going to get going, and he just needs that 1 home run, and that's gonna. He needs to feel the Viking hat again. He needs it on his head. he looks good with it. He's kind of balding. He's a younger guy. He needs that Viking hat to
Speaking of balding, I need to figure out what I got going on too, man. I don't know if I need to get some implants. I'm not sure what's going on, but I tell you what, every single day I look in the mirror, I'm like, damn, I used to have more hair than this. I'm pretty sure of it. But yeah, Steer's in a much, much worse spot than I am. I can tell you that. It doesn't look good. Needs to get him some hair treatment. He didn't make that much money, which I say that much money. He's on a rookie deal, but he still makes damn good money. Let's not get it twisted. You think he'd maybe look into that or get it figured out, but maybe not. I don't know. Just shave it off and roll with it. All right, let's get into go ahead, Nick, if you got anything else. I'm going to look into the chat before you get into the Reds MILB and see if there's anything worthwhile. Evan has half of our roster extended, as usual.
Yeah, just on the Reds and Bally, just wanted to make sure, especially people listening to the podcast that maybe weren't keeping up with what's all going on. Reds will be back staying on Bally. There was it down to the last minute. Looked like they may have to find an alternative starting on Saturday, but they're on for the foreseeable future. I think this is going to continue to be an ordeal all year. Whether it's in a month or 2 months, we're going to keep hearing about this. I think it's a fight with MLB and Bally, because I think MLB wants to get rid of Bally. They want to get the streaming rights, and Bally wants to be able to stream these games themselves and be able to make money off of like a $20 package. But it's going to be an ugly situation. I hope it ends soon and we can figure out what the next step is, because I think it's annoying for a lot of people to have no idea where they can watch the Reds in 2 weeks, and it'd just be nice to kind of have some finality to that.
Yeah. I do love how the chat is talking about a lot of hair situations. I mean, if you're in the big leagues, I think a hair plugs for $15,000, Dirk, is not a big thing. Like that seems like a pretty good investment. I do like Fred's situation when he's talking about just capping it, just throwing a cap over top of it. I think that's a reasonable solution. But the problem is that there's always going to be those weird spots where a cap is not the quote-unquote allowable thing. It's just you're not supposed to wear a cap in this situation. So, you got to figure it out. I always do feel for the guys, and I do want people to be honest in my life and be fair and nice to me, or not nice, but just be honest with me. If I do get in a spot where, we're kind of teetering that line of like, what's Trace doing? What's he got going on? Just shave it. Like, you just tell them, you just got to get rid of it. There's too many people out there, Nick, that I don't think they have nice enough friends that I look at their hair and I'm like what are we trying to hold on to here? Who was the Who was the soccer player? And this is going way off the rails. I promise we're gonna bring this right back into the Reds MILB right after this. But
who was the soccer player?
Who was the soccer? Landon Donovan. Have you seen Landon Donovan's hair?
If
you haven't, that's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. When you have like friends and you're like, do I tell him or do I just let him be? I mean, is he gonna have to figure this out on his own, or do I gotta let him know you're gonna have to do something with this, man? Just saying.
Yeah. I'm one guy that could definitely not pull off shaving the head, so I need this mane to
never say
last
never,
as
Nick.
long as I can.
Never say never.
Be a rough.
Listen, never say never. Reds MILB, some good nights for some guys that we think that we might have some help coming from in the near future.
Yeah, Louisville, really good day. 10-4 winners. Bats, they improved to 10-17 on the year, so they clearly needed this win. Andrew Abbott, just another dominant performance. He's been incredible all year. 5 innings pitched, just allowed 2 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts. He only allowed 2 hard hit balls and had 12 swing and misses in the start today. And Abbott threw 5 starts between AA, AAA, a 1.40 ERA, 51 strikeouts in 25.2 innings pitched. I can't wait to see him. I can be patient a couple more starts, like I said earlier, but he is going. I feel very confident that he's going to be a legit bona fide starter. Now, how is he going to be great? I don't know, but I don't think he's going to be terrible. I think he's going to be a dude that at least helps fill out this rotation, which you just need 5 guys that are all average and a couple guys that are great, and that's a great starting pitching rotation. I feel like Abbott can help the Reds get to that. You got any other thoughts on Abbott before we move on to some of the other performances?
No, I'm ready to see him in the big leagues, to be honest. I'd like to. I think that he's passed the test everywhere else. I know it's only 2 starts. It's only this. It's only that. It's the way he's doing it. He's not like a one pitch pony where he's just overpowering lower level hitters with a fastball or a slider. He does it with 3 pitches. He has command. He looks like he has presence about him that feels a little bit different than maybe a quote unquote young prospect. He's pitched in the ACC. He's pitched in the biggest games that there was in the ACC. Hell, I think the last time he went out there in the ACC, he struck out like 16 guys. So he's not your traditional quote-unquote prospect that's younger. He reminds me of Mike Leake a little bit. Now, I know Mike Leake might not have had an unbelievable start to his career when he first came with the Reds, but he was serviceable. Hell, I tell you this, I'd take Mike Leake first year over some of the guys we got going every 5th day right now. Not to keep putting our own guys down, but I'm ready to see him. Andrew Abbott is big league ready. I'm ready to roll. CES, ready to roll. McLean, I'm cool with it at this point. I'm ready to go. If we're not going to play these guys in quote unquote positions like I was saying all along, the last week and a half on this podcast, if we're not going to do that, and McLean's going to play shortstop down in Louisville, and CES is at first base, obviously we have a hole there, in my opinion, and then obviously Ellie was playing third base. If that's what we're going to do at AAA, then scrap it. I'm ready to put him in the big leagues.
All right, well, speaking of Ellie De La Cruz and Matt McLean, Ellie was at shortstop today. Matt McLean was at third base. Both guys committed errors today. Ellie, 1 for 5, did have a double, hitting a .196, 642 OPS. He still hasn't got 50 at-bats, though, so let's give him some time. McLean, though, 2 for 4, stole a base today, hitting .313, OPS still over 1,000. And then our guy Christian Encarnacion Strand, another 2-hit day, hitting .441 with an OPS over 1,300. And Trace, I know you will be so excited to hear this. Will Benson, 2 for 5, hit a homer.
Hell yeah.
His first homer with the Reds or the Bats this year. Home run had exit velocity of 106.1. He also had a single exit velocity over 102. Good for Will. He needed it. Well, the one downer I thought it was worth mentioning, Ricky Karcher walked 4 batters today. This is a guy that we were hoping could be a piece in the bullpen. Thankfully, that's not been an issue. We don't desperately need guys right now, but Ricky Karcher has walked 21 batters in 7.1 innings and has an ERA of 23.32. I'm not a guy that says guys in AAA need a demotion too often, but this guy might need a demotion. Just shake it up, send him back to Chattanooga. Let's let Ricky get going, because that has been I was listening to this one on the radio driving today, and it was a rough listen.
He had 21 walks. And then
21 walks. He's 7 innings.
He dropped to 7 innings, and I was like, oh, no. The wheels have fallen off.
Poor Ricky.
Somebody call the ambulance.
All right, well, that's one team. We got one got rained out, so we only got 2 more to go. All right, Chattanooga, they lost 5-3 to Birmingham. Lookouts, they're struggling. They've lost 5 of 6 to fall out to 10-12. Connor Phillips, pretty decent outing. Defense didn't help him. 4 innings pitched, 4 runs, but only 1 was earned. Did strike out 7 today. And Phillips, through his first 5 starts, got an ERA of 3.68. Another guy we're hoping can help us fill out that rotation. Novi Marte, 1 for 4. Resigns 0 for 3. Not a whole lot else. Dayton, they were canceled today because of rain. The Daytona Tortugas, they lost again. Fell to 8-14. They lost 9-5, but a lot of good stuff in this game. Cam Collier hit his 2nd home run. That's 2 home runs in a couple games. He's got OPS up almost at 800 right now, which in that league, an 800 OPS is really, really good. We've talked about before. Hector Rodriguez also hit a home run. Sal Stewart played in his first game since April 25th. So good to see him. That's all I got. Reds Minor Leagues presented by
Betfred Sportsbook. Yep. Shout out Betfred. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER, 21 plus in Ohio. If you are going to gamble, I think that the Reds coming into town, playing against the White Sox, not that there's a huge strategy, but what if you did like the Martingale strategy where you just said, okay, I know the Reds aren't going to get swept at home against the White Sox. We're just going to double up every night. So it's like if I lose the first night, we're going to double up Saturday. Lose Saturday, we're going to double up Sunday. Then Sunday, that might be nut cutting season, as I say. Then, let's get into the chat for just a moment. I can't believe there's so many people watching at 1 o'clock in the morning. The fact of the matter that there's this many people watching at 1 o'clock in the morning, I truly do think that, like, I say this all the time. I don't even be, like, cliche about it. Like, this genuinely makes me, like, happy, I guess, in a way. Like, the fact that we have a community, like, that cares this much, that jumps on this goofy little YouTube stream every single night is very much appreciated by us. We don't take it lightly. I think that we have some people in the chat that are rooting for us as well, and the fact that Mouse Cop is doing his job as he always does, asking everyone to like the stream. We do have 50 people in here. We have 21 likes. I think we could probably get a little more likes. George Santos, do a 24-hour stream.
When the Reds win the World Series, we will be on for 48 hours.
Whoa. I'll be so slammed that I won't even be able to see straight.
Well, by that point, Trace,
you're right. We should be able to have like replacements, right? Like we could.
Well, like 10. Paul does 4 hours. Casey McAllister at that point, he's going to be such a seasoned,
right? He'll know how many
veteran
outs there are in an inning. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean he's got at least 6 hours in him. So yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I listen. Same goes back to you, Rune Bengal. George Santos, as always, it's hard to figure out whether you're telling the truth in the chat or not. I don't know. I can't tell you. That's a tough dynamic you got going on. Fred's loyal in the chat. I don't want to start naming off all the names. Evans obviously extending half our roster as he always does. Jackson Hall is up in here. John Thomas, good to see you. I just want to get ourselves in a position with this Reds team to where we continue to compete at this level and we start just sprinkling in these prospects, and it just kind of keeps us rejuvenated. Like this offense is abysmal at times. I'm not going to say it's not, Nick. Like there's some really, really poor hitters in this lineup on a daily basis. And Fraley is one of those guys where if he's in the lineup, I do feel a little bit better, but when we face left-handers, man, this lineup is really bad. However, I do want to ask you, since you're a Mr. Analytical kind of guy, and I do respect that. However, do you think that there's a coincidence that Fraley keeps finding ways to get hits in these spots? Or is it just one of those things that maybe he's just a little more comfortable in these situations, which leads to him being more successful than somebody else in said situation? True, honest opinion. You don't have to lie about it.
All these situations are against right-handed pitchers.
Well, he gets a hit every damn time, it feels like.
Yeah, because he's great at hitting right-handed pitching. Let's not make these guys something they're not. I don't know. I think you. I hate this because I hate hating on guys like Jake Fraley because I love.
You're not
Jake
hating
Fraley.
On him. I mean, you're telling your honest truth. You're telling your truth.
You play Jake Fraley every day. You expose him. I mean, you play him against left-handed pitching.
Maybe. All right,
probably.
That's fair. Okay, that's a fair thing. I don't know.
We need better backups.
Either that or we just need some everyday guys that can hit both ways. Like Friedel, can we get Friedel a little more run? Like, why is he sitting out so many games with left-handers when his splits have been relatively decent?
Yeah, I'd like to see him more. I agree with you there. He's been, and he's a guy that just hits the ball so different than guys like Jake Fraley that a lot of their value is pulling the ball and but yeah, I mean, look, Jock Peterson was a platoon player on 2 different teams that won the World Series. So that's Jake Fraley. Like that's the same type of player. There's nothing wrong with that. We just need more, and it's coming. Matt McClain, CES, Ellie. There's not going to be. You're not going to have a end of the lineup with all due respect to our our Lord and Savior Henry Ramos. You're not going to have an end of the lineup be Henry Ramos, Kevin Newman, Kirk Casale, or Matt Reynolds for much longer. This is a short term.
Yeah. Quick question.
Filler dudes, and we'll have a much deeper lineup here by next year. There's not going to be all these fillers.
Don't know if you know this off the top of your head, but Maxwell asks is a good question. Is Austin Hendricks doing anything? I know he probably has it. Does he still have that damn eye black all over his face?
Yeah, I think so.
Does he really?
Yeah.
I could have told you he stunk from the beginning. Hopefully he turns out to be a Hall of Famer, Major League Baseball Hall of Famer. But
he plays great defense. That's my only from seeing him play a lot here in Lake County. He plays really good defense in right field. He's still young though. He's still young.
How young?
I hope he can be 21.
Okay. Will you do
I
something
might be
for me?
Full of it on that.
All right.
21.
Don't see much else in the chat. It is 1:00. I'm tired as hell. There's one thing that I have to do though, Nick. After you go ahead and you let these people know who's starting tomorrow, you know what it is. I have to be honest, chat. I gotta be quiet about it though. I cannot be crazy tonight, but I will do it.
All right. So you know about Luis Cessa, our hero, got his ERA below 10 in his last start. So hopefully he can have a big outing. Could you imagine, Trace? Let's paint the picture here. How about the Cincinnati Reds go into San Diego and they win 2 out of 3 with Luis Cessa on the mound in the final game? How awesome would that be? How great would that be? They had lost 9 in a row. They come back, they win on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday, the third highest payroll in baseball, they come in and they beat him with Luis Cessa. Let's go. All right, Seth Lugo, he's the other guy pitching.
13-year-olds fantasizing about many things that are in the world that they'll probably never get, but I think us fantasizing about Luis Cessa winning this game tomorrow might be a bigger stretch.
At 1:10 a.m. All right, Seth Lugo. This is a guy that is getting a chance to start for the Padres, probably a filler guy. Start off the year great. First 2 starts, 1.38 ERA, but Trace, last 3 starts, he's got an ERA of 5.52. He has not started against the Reds since 2017. Nick Senzel and Kirk Casale both have hits off of Mr. Lugo in their careers.
Hey, if you're telling me that we have the upper hand with Cessa going against Lugo, then I tell you to send me down whatever you're smoking, brother. I'll take.
I didn't say upper hand. I didn't say, let's be clear. I was just saying that it'd be cool. Baseball's a funny game. I want it to be funny tomorrow.
It is. It is a stupid game from time to time. So maybe tomorrow it will be stupid. All right, Nick. Let me run through some promos before I do this slam dunk. All right, guys. Off the bench. It's a thing that we do every morning on Chatterbox Sports YouTube page or YouTube channel.
I'm going to be on tomorrow.
And Nick's on tomorrow. And it's nut cut season. If you don't know what nut cutting season is, you got to get in the chat. You got to be there tomorrow. It's from 10 a.m. till noon. And as always, we ask you to be kind to us as well. Go on there, download Chatterbox Reds every single day. Give it a rating. Give it a review. I think our podcast has hovered between 400 to 800 to 1,000 downloads, depending on, obviously the day. If you could do me a favor, I'm being serious, and just plug us just every so often to your friends and just be like, hey guys, this is fun. You should just join me in the chat. If nothing else, don't even listen to these 2 yahoos talking every night. Just come and chat it up with us in the chat, because that's where the real entertainment is. All right? But nonetheless, there's one thing left to do, and you know what it is. Let's get to it. Everybody, see you tomorrow.
9 p.m. tomorrow. 9 p.m. We're going on later, not right after the game.